Okay, one more video tonight, I think. Maybe one more, who knows. Anyway, this is my HK MR556A1 rifle. And it's a factory tan rifle. It has a Geisley rail on it. I don't remember the model number for the rail, but it's not M-Lock. It uses a direct mounting system proprietary to Geisley rails. It's a cool rail. I bought it like this. Not quite as bulky as a factory rail. And then it also, I feel like this is more aesthetically pleasing than the key mod than the M-Lock ones. Remember the original Jack carbines? They also used this style mounting system from like the original ones from way back in the day. The gun's empty and unloaded. Post lock to the rear. Do the same thing. Start from the tip to the butt. This one is a 16-inch barrel, gas piston operated 5.56 rifle, made by H&K out of Germany. I'm not sure if the gun. This one's Columbus, Georgia. So I'm assuming they make it in the United States and maybe ship over all this stuff that's not required to be made. I'm not 100% sure. It has a Surefire. This is a 4-prong. Yeah, 4-prong flash hider as opposed to the 3-prong. If you know, you know. And then it has a Surefire Vampire. This is a visible and IR weapons light with the dual use tail cap. It has a momentary and constant on feature with a push button, and then also take the tail, a tape switch up to, which once again I'm not 100% sure because I can't remember. I believe this is it's not a mod light. Yeah, Unity. It's a Unity hot button. This light is directly attached using a mounting system underneath through the back of the handguard, proprietary to this style of rail. It gets it really close, sucked up into one of these vents, and it is actually different than the actual traditional mounting system, but it's from Geisley. Underneath here I have a single piece of 1913 rail to attach the Magpul Gen 1 AFG. Moving back, you have swing swivels, and these are at like the 2 o'clock and like 11 o'clock ish, maybe 10 o'clock positions. I have not used a sling on this gun yet. This is pretty new to me. I've only taken it to the range, I believe, once or twice to get initial zero. And then this is the release lever or release bolt to take the rail off. Screwdriver slot, or you can use part of the, I believe one of the lugs off of the bolt. Unscrew this, pull this out. It's captive, but not 100% captive. It has a detent, so you can fully remove it. And then the rail section will just slide off the front. Moving back, these MR556 guns have a plastic dust cover, which I don't really care. It's a dust cover. This one has a standard HK magazine release, and then this is a Badger Ordnance, I believe. Safety selector. This is a single side safety selector, but it has an indicator on this side, so when you swap it to fire, it just shows you on this right side of the gun that it's on fire. And this is like a 60-degree safety selector instead of a 45-degree. A little bit longer throw than like a Radian. Apparently they're safer. I've never had an issue with the Radians, but I like how this one feels. Let's show you the opposites out of the gun, how that indexes. If I ran across a couple of these for a good deal, but I would not hesitate to put them in more rifles. This one has a Geisley trigger. And then this one is not an ambidextrous lower receiver. So you don't have like an ambidextrous magazine release or bolt release, bolt hold open, like on some of the newer guns. It has a BCM gunfighter grip and a, this is a little bit longer than guns that I've been showing, Magpul CTR stock. This one has a Geisley charging handle. This one is just one of the parts number ones. Then it has this little bit extra portion up here to help mitigate some of that gas coming back. And a piston gun has less gas than a DI gun, so it's not a huge deal, but it's aesthetically pleasing. It kind of just mates up perfectly with this lower portion of the upper receiver. As far as the optics I have on this gun, I have an EOTech EXPS2-0. It's, I believe, it's not the night vision one. And then on a flip to side mount, I have a G45. I should really look this stuff up before I do the videos, but apparently I'm too lazy to do that. This one is, I don't think this is the 5 power one. I believe this one is just the more stubby, thicker magnifier than the G33. These are both higher mounted on the gun. I don't think it's like a 193, but it is higher than a traditional optic mount, so you would not have a co-witness. You'd probably have a lower 1/3 co-witness with iron sights. These also have beveled magazine wells for faster reloading. And then another thing with the HK, I think the A5s have done away with this, but the original ones, like the A1s and even whatever came after these, they have a straight magazine well, so you can't use Gen 2 PMags or Gen 1 PMags because of the over insertion stop. A Stanag magazine will fit, and Gen 3 PMag will fit, and then I believe Lancers work in these, and then of course the super cool, oh I have one, Magpul EMag. The coolest magazine ever made in my opinion, besides maybe the Surefire 60 rounders. So those will lock in. Man, that looks cool in there. I had 2 of these and I don't know where the other one went. I've been trying to find more of these forever and I just can't find them. Maybe with the advent of Murdoch & Co. bringing the SA80 L85 to market, we might see an influx of the E-mags. I'm just hoping. I don't have any knowledge if they will or not, but these ones were designed for use with the HK416 with the lower stop, and then the Gen 3 PMag came out. This is a 40 rounder, but same thing, and made the EMag obsolete, unfortunately, and Gen 3 PMags lock in just fine, and Stanag mags lock in just fine. Also, I think I might have one up there. The HK steel magazines work in these. Obviously, they were designed from HK to work quick though. Let's see if I have one over here. Yeah. So this is a HK steel magazine. It has a little bit different curvature than a traditional magazine. You can see it's a little bit different. These lock in are just fine, and then you can see how much of a different angle that is. And then I think Lancers work. Yep. Lancers lock in just fine. Yeah, it's actually color matched to this gun pretty well too. It looks pretty cool. I might start running these in there. That looks really nice. Really close color. And then I think, ooh, these might not work. This is a Surefire 60 round quad stack magazine. Besides the E-mags, these are probably my favorite magazine ever designed. They quit making these because they allegedly had reliability issues. I have 5 of them, and the only time I've ever had an issue was when I partially loaded one with, like, I don't know, 25 rounds, something like that. They have 2 springs in them, nested, one nested into the other one, and maybe for some reason that was an issue. But every time I've loaded one to 60 rounds or, you know, like 5 rounds, there's never been an issue. I've had 100% reliability with them, besides that one instance. Ooh. Nope. Nope, it will not take the Surefire 60 round magazines. It gets stuck on this shoulder right here. Didn't know that until right now. But the vast majority of magazines will work. All your standard GI, Stanag mags, Gen 3 P mags, and Lancers and HK magazines will work in these without issue. I'm sure you can use other magazines too. Like, there's a whole bunch of different ones that are less expensive, but if you have the money for a HK, you're probably not running those cheap, like a Men 2 or Pro Mags or whatever stuff like that's out there. So not really going to be an issue for somebody running a gun like this. Cool gun. It's definitely heavy compared to just even a standard free floated rail AR-15, because it does have more mass to it. The upper receiver, as you can see on the back, is a little bit bigger. It comes up a little bit higher. The rail's a little bit more chunky, and it does have a really large gas block because it's piston driven. You can't really see it under here. So it also has a piston, and then so there's more mass there. Shoots good. So I found this at one of the local gun shops, sitting on a rack, and it's was teasing me for about a year and a half, and I finally decided to pick this one up. So really the only downside to something like this is if you wanted to run like the less expensive, like $10 a piece Gen 2 P mags, or I don't think let me see. One more mag. This is a real Beta C mag, not one of the South Korean clones. I don't think this one will work, but we're gonna try it. Oh, it does work. Yep, that locks right in. That would make a heavy rifle. The rifle itself is heavy than 100 rounds of 5.56, and this drum mag would make this very heavy, but it will function. Pretty cool. Hopefully, next time I do around a batch of videos, I can have a better camera setup, more over the top, so you can get a better full view of everything that I'm showing and doing. I'm just limited to the little mounts that Walmart had available at the time, so unfortunately that's what I have. But I think I'll just get on the, what's it called, Amazon, and order one that'll give me a better field of view, bring it up higher. That's the plan anyway. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask me down in the comments section. I have quite a few different LMT rifles. This is the only HK rifle that I currently have, I believe. I've got HK 93 clones, but they're from Century, so they're not real HKs. And a HK 91 clone, but it's not an HK either. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.